Good evening, everyone. This is Pastor Darlene, your certified sage Christian vision coach, here again with 100 Days of Believing Bigger. We are here on day number 62. And let me tell you something, we have really been challenged an awful lot. And as I shared with you in the past few days, we went from purpose to identity, from identity to disruptions, from disruptions to belief and faith, from belief and faith to blessing blockers, from blessing blockers to stillness. And now we're talking about stillness. We're talking about how we can stay still in the presence of God, hear what He wants us to know, and then apply it. It's not enough to hear it, but it's important for us to apply it. And good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to see you here. Do me a favor, share, because sharing is caring. So glad you're here hanging out with me tonight. I'd love to see what you have to say about what we're talking about tonight. We're reading about inner assurance. And we're coming from Psalm chapter 46 and verse 10 that says, surrender your anxiety. Come on now. We get anxious for stuff. And God tells us, surrender your anxiety. Be silent and stop your striving, and you will see that I am God. I am the God above all the nations, and I will be exalted throughout the whole earth. And so today, this is what Marshawn talks to us about. This is our challenge. This is something that for us to ponder and to reflect upon. Divine stillness is a byproduct of being anchored in God's presence. It's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. It's an inner essence. When we experience an inability to be still, there is something within us that's restless. It might seem minor, but it's actually major. Ultimately, it's a lack of trust. And remember, she talked about trust at the very beginning of our journey with her. And she said that word trust meant, and I'm going to go look at it, total reliance upon spiritual timing, a lack of trust. We feel that if we're not busy or in control, something is going to fall apart. Now, she has an acronym for the word still because we're talking about stillness these 10 days. Her acronym for the word still is surrendered trust in the Lord's leadership. Still, be still. Have surrendered trust in the Lord's leadership. We fight stillness because we're fighting for control. The second part in Psalm 46 and 10 that states, and know, is very critical. In life, we trust in what and whom we know. God is reminding us here that stillness is not only a command and a decision, but it's a place that we only enter into when we know that God is God. Not intellectually, but fully assured that God is faithful, infinitely wise, and well able. Stillness without belief and surrendered trust isn't possible. Stillness without belief and surrendered trust isn't possible. I want to remind you again what she said the acronym for the word still means. It stands for surrendered trust in the Lord's leadership. Surrendered trust in His leadership. So here is the question for you to ponder, for you to think about during dinner, for you to think about, have a conversation around the table, and then go to your journal and write this thought. What is it you're afraid will not work out in your favor? What are you afraid of that's not going to work out in your favor? And what's the truth that fear doesn't want you to know? What's the truth that fear doesn't want you to know? Fear wants to stop you and grip you and keep you from doing what you are really ultimately called and created to do. So what doesn't fear want you to know? That you're able? What doesn't fear want you to know? That you're well equipped? What doesn't fear want you to know? That God's with you and he's going to walk you through this? What is it that fear does not want you to know? So let's pray. Father, give me a heart synced with where your hands are leading. I thank you for the privilege of spending time with you. I trust you. I need you. You are my God. And I want you to take this time to take a look at yourself. Get that inner assurance that God's with you, the inner assurance that he is leading you. Remember, still surrendered trust in the Lord's leadership. He will never steer you wrong. You will never go astray if you trust in the name of the Lord. I'll be back tomorrow with more of 100 Days of Believing Bigger with Marshawn Daniels. I'm super excited that I get to go through these 100 days with you. We're way more than halfway through. And I hope that you will continue with me on this journey. And if you have not yet purchased the book, get your book, 100 Days of Believing Bigger. Get your book and begin journaling. Do something that is going to challenge you this coming year. I love you all, and I will see you all tomorrow right here. Take it easy.